Hello and welcome to an absolutely beautiful early spring day here in equally beautiful Nova Scotia. It's April the 7th, I think, a lovely evening, and I'm stood here on my pool deck. It's all looking rather bare and not very warm and inviting, although like I said, it is an absolutely beautiful evening, but behind me is all very bare. Nothing's growing yet. You know, we're still getting frosts at night, but spring is definitely here. And one of the reasons I can tell spring is definitely here is my banana plants that were here adorning, as you can see in the photograph or the video, beautiful here last summer, making me feel very tropical while I was sat on the pool deck, you know, enjoying the sunshine. I put them away for winter. The first time I've had them, I overwintered them in my little gym area. It's quite cool at night without being too cold, and I overwintered them there. And as you can see, they are sprouting some new leaves. So I thought I would pot them up. I'm really pleased that they've actually, you know, overwintered okay. So I'm going to get them out, have a proper good look at them, pot them up and get them ready, even though they're not going to be going out for another couple of months. Get them in their nice big pots and start them off for the summer. Well, where hopefully they can, you know, come back here and get even bigger this year and make me feel real tropical when I'm sat there with a nice cold beer watching my boy playing in the pool. Anyway, back to the gardening bit. Let's go and have a look and see what they're looking like at the moment, shall we? A closer look, I think. So, here we are outside the greenhouse. Here are the pots that they were in last year, and I think I'm going to put them in this year. Got two pots, both the same, might as well keep them. As you can see, it's obviously a deep pot, but it's got like a water reservoir at the bottom where the water can go down, and that sort of stays in that water reservoir, which I'm quite happy with for these banana plants, because they obviously like it nice and damp, and it worked last year. So let's have a look at these, closer look at the tomato banana plants. I think let's move this round this way. I think I'll just adjust the camera so that we can have a good look. So basically, as you can see, I just put them in a bag, these bags, and I put them in there with some nice leaf mould at the time. That is completely dry. I maybe have put a little tiny bit of water in there, but that is all completely dry now. So we want to start giving them something. So let's get them out and have a look at the state of them as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all these lot back and cut a couple of this leaf off and this leaf off here. So we've got two nice fresh leaves here to look at. So let's have a look at do that now. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pot them up. So I'm going to go and get some compost, etc. Put that in there, get them in the pots nicely settled, and then I can trim them up when they're in position and I've got a good look at them. So I'm going to go and get some earth now. Okay, so warm work, tops off, beautiful, I love it. I'll tell you what I also love is the feel of a nice bit of soil in the hands now. You know, soil's warmed up a little bit, you can get amongst it, and it's great, isn't it, to get your hands in the soil again and have a good feel. Right, this mix is a loam based compost mix. I've actually taken it from one of my raised beds that I'm sort of digging up and moving around in my new kitchen garden. So this has got a lot of seaweed in it, soil and all sorts of bits in there, and you want a sort of loam based compost for your big pots with your big plants, because they need something substantial. You know, it wants the pot to be nice and warm, it doesn't want it to dry out quick, and you definitely don't want to be using You don't want to be using any peat-based compost because... Beautiful. You don't want to be using any peat-based compost because you don't want to be using peat-based compost because it's environmentally destructive. And B, you don't want to be using it because that dries out quite quickly. So you want a nice loam base with lots of good plant-based material that's, you know, that's broken down. So let's get the old plants out, shall we? Get this one out first. Oh. Easier said than done. Oh. I'm going to cut that one anyway. Right, as you can see, the old root ball, nice and dry. We want it to warm up a bit now, get it damp now. There's some roots there. So let's get this in the pot. Right, I'm going to mix all that leaf mould, etc., dry compost in there anyway, and let's put it in the pot. I'm loving hearing all the birds here and there. Literally, just when I turned the camera off a minute ago, there were 3 big woodpeckers. I've never seen them before, making all sorts of funny noises. Just flew literally over me. Couldn't get the camera out in time. But wonderful to hear them all in spring and see them now. Well, I think that's good enough because it's going to, the compost is going to settle down anyway, and then obviously we don't want it too deep so that these are getting totally wet all the time because they'll just rot away. Let's have a look. Maybe I'll take a little bit out. And the seaweed, etc., has got lots of, you know, they're like lots of feeding the banana plant, so that'll have lots of nutrition in it. Right, that'll do nicely. Let's get a bit more in. Like I said, I reckon this will settle down nicely. Right, let's give these a bit of a trim. Right, I'm just going to cut these off just to tidy them up, make them look nice. So these are called pseudo stems. Obviously these are the actual leaves that have grown up and they just grow out into a sort of pseudo stem. Right, so this one I'm going to leave. This one I'm going to cut off. And this one here I'm going to cut off as well. So over the winter, one of the problems that we get if we don't dry out the set, get all the water out of inside of these pseudo stems, is they can rot, and the rot quickly sets in and gets right in, and you might not notice it, but it will have got right in to the trunk itself and basically rot away. That's why when you finish with it in the autumn time, it's good to turn it upside down for a good week or so to make sure all the the main amount of water is dripped out of the actual stems themselves. Right, last little bit here. And leave them there. Cut these. No, I'm going to leave these. Right, the last thing to do is to give it a good water. Right, while that's draining down, I'm going to do the other one. So, there we go. 2 banana plants. They don't look much at the moment, obviously. They look a bit ugly and chopped up, but these will soon sprout once it starts warming up. And I'm going to put these in the greenhouse now. And unless it gets, markedly cold at night, they should be okay. I'm going to cover them with some nice bit of horticultural fleece over them at night, just so they got a little bit of extra protection. But these should be set fair now for the summer ahead, and providing me that beautiful exotic look on my pool deck to really get me in the mood for summer. Job's a good one.